Lionsgate is trying to be a part of advertising The Chosen.
Well, it's not that they're trying. They struck a deal.
Yeah.
So that's actually, you sent me this week, and you said you want to talk about it here, so we'll do this as kind of our main segment opener. It's interesting because we were going back and forth. You initially thought that they were doing some kind of sneaky backdoor thing to cancel the show in some fashion. That's the vibe I got. You texted us in a panic. And the wording on that article was strange, right? It was confusing. Yeah. But then I found another article.
Read the article.
So Wyatt and Joshua, I'm filming a story.
Hey, I was like, look, did he not read this?
I'm filming a story, all right, for work or whatever. And during interview, I'm getting you guys' texts back and forth. And
you're
at
like,
some
what's
point,
going on?
I'm like, what's going on? I'm so confused. And Josh was just making it sound like it's over. It's canceled.
No, I kind of knew it was something
this
like that.
This is the
but
end.
I was saying, so explain what's happening, right. And then I'll talk about it.
So Jesus Revolution distributor Lionsgate acquires worldwide distribution rights for The Chosen. So we're talking, I think, DVD or Blu-ray hard copies as well as theatrical runs. Because before, they were kind of just, Angel Studios was just doing it themselves. Now they're taking on, Angel Studios still owns the rights for free streaming, for the production of the product, right? But for the actual distribution to have a wider release and to do things like running ads, like where's all that money coming from? Well, they got licensing. Lionsgate acquired worldwide distribution rights to The Chosen, the hit series based on the life of Jesus, the film studios, which has distributed movies such as Knives Out, La La Land, and John Wick franchise.
But to be clear, they made a sub-licensing deal.
Sub-licensing deal with Angel Studios.
So they don't have all of the rights to the distribution.
As long as they don't have creative rights.
They don't have any creative rights.
Then we're pretty good still. But I just think...
Well, here's the thing. Angel Studios is run by a bunch of pretty savvy business people. I don't think they're ever going to sell off creative rights to the show. They're probably thinking, like, there's a lot more money to be made if we have this person helping us with distribution for the show itself. And in order for them to do that, they have to get a cut of the pie. They have to get some of the licensing as well. So I think the people at Angel Studios are being smart about this. Also, keep in mind, Angel Studios has just announced, I think, four other film or show projects that are being funded currently on Angel Studios. They just came out with His Only Son over Easter, which is a movie about Abraham and Isaac kind of situation.
Yeah.
And so they're doing a lot of more stuff than just The Chosen.
Scroll down. I want to say there was more
what we should
at the
do
end of
when,
the article.
This is a cool section right here. So the more I learned, this is from the CEO of Lionsgate.
And that's not him. I believe that's an ad. But we can pretend like it's him.
He's actually, this guy's more handsome than the actual guy. I did look up Jim Packer earlier. The more I learn about The Chosen, the more I want to ensure that it is on the best platforms across the globe, such as Lionsgate, said Lionsgate president and worldwide television distributor Jim Packer. Sometimes I read too fast. All right.
It's tough.
I'm not surprised that an artfully crafted story about such an important historical figure, unlike anything done before, would be in great demand, Packer continued. The multi-season approach has allowed The Chosen to consistently build an audience and generate a unique level of engagement. We're excited by the opportunity to elevate this incredible property to the next level of worldwide recognition and popularity. So that's what I'm saying. Angel Studios is saying, this is really going to help us because, and you know, the goal for Dallas and Angel Studios is they want 1 billion people to watch the show. I think they would get there by the end of 7 seasons on their own, but they might be able to reach 2 billion people, you know, with the help of Lionsgate.
But here's the important part. It says, according to Deadline, after any theatrical release, Angel Studios app and the Chosen app still have global exclusive rights in the first window for all existing and future seasons. And then it says the Come and See Foundation, which announced a new partnership with the Chosen in December, will retain and manage licensing rights for all the Chosen's activities with the nonprofit sector, including translation. So I'm thinking that the show and Dallas still have the majority of a grip on the show and the app and how it gets made and how it gets
still making sure it's free for people that download the app.
And they are working with somebody who knows distribution of large properties to help them get this into theaters and get it onto more apps and get it in front of more people.
Which this is consistent with the goal of The Chosen constantly, because they want this to be, and Angel Studios wants this to be, audience funded.
Yes.
An audience funded production, and so they're not beholden to executives telling them, well, we predicted to make this much money, but this season didn't make that much money, so you're done.
This should be the future of audience funded. Audience funded, but with the resources of Hollywood.
Yes.
So the audience funds it, and the people in Hollywood who know how to distribute it.
Right. And the cool thing about this is if Lionsgate, like, they try their distribution to make a cut of money and to get out to more people, if they don't make their money back, or they come and say, well, this isn't a good business decision, then they just cancel the sub-licensing agreement and just let Angel Studios do what they already have been doing, right? And so no one really loses here, except Lionsgate might have potential to gain some. And I think that's all that matters.
If they don't distribute, they're not going to make any money off of whatever deal that they made.
And they're already dabbling in Christian film because they did Jesus Revolution. So Lionsgate is kind of they're reaching across the aisle as of right now, try to get some of that Christian film money. And we see this all the time. I mean, this is how Dallas Jenkins did get burned before he started The Chosen. He got picked up to do a handful of movies. He did one, and it flopped. And they said, never mind, no more movies for you.
Yeah.
And that's through the Hollywood system. And so Hollywood always tries to invest money into these Christian films. Like, Sony was working with the Kendrick brothers.
Yeah.
Once they got popular. I don't know about their current relationship, but the Kendrick brothers movies have slowed down, and that might have to do with distribution.
Yeah, we
Sony.
Talked about this.
Sony kind of probably backed off when they realized like War Room or whatever didn't do as well. And so Sony's like, well, never mind. So now they have to go back to the older style, which is self-distribution. They need to get involved with Angel Studios if they keep wanting making movies. Like the Kendrick brothers? Crowdfunded through Angel Studios. Because Angel Studios isn't like all they're doing is saying, we will help you. We have all the connections. Your audience base has to raise money through this.
It's not exclusive, to The Chosen.
You know what they should do, and this is just based on my thoughts. Maybe they don't want to do this. This is just what I think. I think the way to make money today is with subscription-based stuff, but they don't want to charge for their show because they want that to be out to people, and they want to spread the news of what they're doing through their show. So I think what would be awesome is if they did like a Patreon exclusive or something like that, where they could get people to subscribe monthly to production stuff. Maybe they do behind the scenes of The Chosen,
like a Patreon.
Yeah, behind the scenes for season 4 that they're filming right now.
They do have that. It's just not behind a paywall.
Yes,
they have that on the app that you have to download the app.
I think by saying, rather than saying please give $10 a month, I think the idea of give $5 now once so that we can reach the 4 million that we need. I think people are more inclined to be like, I'll give $5, $10, $100 once, rather than I gotta give $10 each month. Especially when it's different when it's a small creator like us.
No, think about it like this. So yes, they get funding for season 4. People have already been funding them through 1, 2, 3, the 4. What are they gonna at season 7, which they're planning on doing 7 seasons? Is they're still going to have enough people that are willing to, maybe people will say, I contributed season 2. Do I still want to contribute again for season 7?
And here's the reason.
I think so, because we're seeing it work.
We are.
We're seeing it work. But
they're already got season 4 funded.
Yeah, but we still have to wait for season 5, 6, and 7 still.
It's going to get funded. And the thing is, because I know from personal, and first off, they're in the right demographic. Christians, and they're operating out of Texas, so I'm guessing, and they're Christians in general, so they probably have right-leaning situations. So conservatives and Christians are the most charitable group in the nation. And this is why I'm saying, like, when you say people would rather invest than pay a subscription, somewhat. I think certain demographics prefer that, right?
Yeah.
So this is the right demographic. You're catering to Christians and conservative people who are probably also Christians who tend to give the most to charity and causes they believe in. Like for me personally, I've already given to the show twice. And I've already given more than I would have if I was doing a subscription. Does that make sense?
But we're in a climate nowadays where people are familiar with how crowdfunding works and they like it, because we know that if we give a certain amount and we know that other people are going to give and it gets to the desired goal, we are all going to get the product.
Right.
Whereas if we subscribe and we pay $10 a month, are we going to get the product?
It's up to the decision.
we're funding them consistently, but in the end, they have to decide.
Right.
Whereas if they end up with $4 million, we expect a product.
Right.
Because we see what the end result is.
Yeah,
Whereas
and we invested
if we're
that product.
Yeah, if we're giving $10 a month, it's like maybe we don't know what their budget is in the end.
Like, okay, so rough example. So HBO did a one-season show of The Time Traveler's Wife, starring Rose Leslie.
Oh, my gosh.
I loved that season. I loved the show. I loved everything about it. And then they canceled it. Like, as soon as it was done,
because nobody's
rolling out and
backing
canceled. Okay, but here's the
Rose-
thing. They had to make that decision from business-wise because their subscription model. What if they just put up and said, did anybody like this show? If you did, here, give us some money. And if we don't get enough, we'll give you the money back. But let's do a crowd fundraising for season 2 of just this show. I loved that season so much. I would have given probably $50.
He's been talking about this for way too long.
I would have given $50 to see a season 2.
We're in this day and age where it's less like we put something out, see how people respond.
Right.
People nowadays expect we give to this, and so we expect a certain result. We invest in this, so we expect something good, and that puts the responsibility on the creators to make something good, to make something enjoyable.
I would have paid for season 2 of Time Traveler's Wife.
Yeah, and so that's where we're at right now, and
and that's why Angels is building off of that business.
And
model.
I don't know if I've talked to you guys about, John Mark and I years ago discussed an app similar to this where you could crowdfund animation.
Sick.
If you got a bunch of creators to put up a pilot episode similar to like Love, Death, and Robots, then individuals crowdfund your project. So it's like, I need $400 to get episode 2 out.
Yeah.
Then people crowdfund that, and in the next like 2 months you get episode 2 out.
Start building it, Wyatt. That's a good idea.
We discussed this in detail, and we were like, how do we create this?
Right.
But we
almost
didn't have the
like
means.
a
Well,
GoFundMe.
we will in the future, so freaking hold on to that.
It's
this
a
out.
GoFundMe for shows or animations.
Yeah.
You could do it a bunch of different ways. You could make a pilot and then just do any show. Say we're going to do a show.
The cool thing is it's not even just a GoFundMe, because you're not going on GoFundMe to watch these episodes. You want a streaming service that is free that you can give and watch on the same platform. That's what the Angel Studios is doing.
So when you subscribe, you go on and you see here's the 5
it's like
things.
a GoFundMe.
Here's the 5 things that I've given to. Each of them have a new episode this week. Or here's one that didn't make it. Nobody else subscribed. I'm the only one who subscribed, but I only lost $5 on that one. You're taking a gamble, but you're potentially giving to artists to create the things that they want to create.
But also,
and I think we
you
need
can do
more
it,
stuff like that.
You
and
can
like
do
what's
it
going
to
on
where they say, like, well, here's our period of time. We give ourselves a year to fund season 4, right? As season 3 is rolling out. At the end of that year, if they're not close and they don't have the investors to finish, you just got to say, well, it's a wash. We can either do it for this amount of money, and it's just going to be a little lower than budget than we thought, or they just refund. Either way, you get a product or your money back.
Well, we thought about, it's like, how do you get that to keep going as the show gets larger and larger. Well, once it is successful, maybe it gets a season 1, season 2, then the app steps in and says, we're going to help with this as well.
Right.
Not 100%. We're not going to take it and do what Netflix does and become our own production studio, but we're going to support this and give to this and try to help it get funded each time.
I think more importantly, what the app has to figure out is not necessarily get it funded, just be the platform that makes it
promote
easy.
it. Yeah, they're going to promote it
and
they're
makes
gonna
it easy
get
for
it in front of eyes, make it easy for the artist, and support the artist.
Right.
And help them get their name out there.
I had the similar thought because you can expand this to so many things. You can expand it to YouTube creators or online creators as well, especially people that are doing cool stuff. Because right now everyone's operating on like their website, and you have to have like their website login. It's like, well, what happens if you just had a platform like YouTube, but you can give money? And I know YouTube's kind of doing this. The problem with YouTube is that it's so much there. It kind of operates on this free model, right? Any creator can put up for free. You can watch any creator for free. And it has to operate that way. But say you had 5,000 creators on one app, and you like 10 of those people, and you can pay for those people to do it. It's the same thing. You fund their projects. I think Olin Rogers is probably going to see the value of this and what he's done, like we talked about last week, and realize, like, yeah, all future projects.
What if he's the one who starts it, the animation app?
Olin, I mean, I would love to.
That would be cool.
I'd love
let's
to
go
help
pitch
you.
him right now.
I'd love to help you.
After we're done.
We call Olin, we pitch this app idea.
We could get a hold of his
You guys
number if
wanna
we
build an
really
app?
put our head. Yeah. Would you like to develop an app?
Would you like to develop an app?
So yeah, I don't know. I think there's going to be value in this, and we just need like a good handful of platforms that work. Angels is one of those, but they still have that. You have to be doing something cool to get work with us. You know, you can't just be old any creator. So we'll see.
Did you
We'll
say
see.
old any creator?
You can't just be old any creator, any old
Any
creator. Anyways, so you know, we'll see what Lionsgate is able to do with The Chosen with their very specific and limited licensing of the show distribution.
I think it's going to be positive.
I think so.